So guys, this is Real Murata photographer based in Tokyo. So I'm going a little bit off topic from talking about film photography in general. This time around, it's been a long time since I talked about camera bags. So you guys probably recall or don't remember that my main camera bag, when I go on to longer trips, especially when I went to Ito in Shizuoka Prefecture to photograph a famous hotel, Hatoya Hotel, I basically use a bag called the MA3 Fast Backpack made by Manfrotto. However, in those cases, I basically use that bag because I have to transport two cameras in most cases. My main medium format camera, GW690 Mark III, and also my sort of like video camera, which is the X-T5 from Fujifilm. So I basically have to use a really large capacity bag when I'm basically going off for like 2 or 3 days or so. However, when I'm walking around in Tokyo, I not necessarily need that bag because that bag, on the other hand, I don't typically bring my X-T5 to shoot video for you guys. Over the past course of years, I've been using the X-T3 like a couple years back to shoot video, but nowadays I've been starting to sort of like shift towards a lighter compact setup, and I've been using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 more frequently, which means that I not necessarily need that large bag to sort of like photograph around in Tokyo. And that bag, when I basically shoulder it, I look like a turtle. So I was starting to use a different bag, a more lighter bag, which is the Manfrotto's compact backpack, but I've been using the MA3 Manfrotto's advanced compact backpack for the course of 1.5 years or so. So this is sort of like a video on that topic. And also the topic of when I'm basically photographing around in Tokyo, like I use this bag more frequently compared to MA2. Okay, so this Manfrotto's advanced compact MA3 MA3, which the name is real long, backpack is roughly 15.4 liters, which is almost, if I'm right, half the capacity of the MA2 that I currently own, the Fast Backpack. And this one, it has a really simple construction. There's only two compartments, the top and the bottom. Going from the top, it's like when you open it up, there's a divider which kind of divides the top left and top right. On the left, I basically stick in my video camera, which is my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, along with an extension or external like battery. And with that, I also have to carry sort of like a mobile power bank, 10,000 milliamp by CIO. This video is not being sponsored by them or anything, but CIO is a famous mobile power bank, also charger company in Japan, which rivals Anker in North America. They have super compact power banks and chargers. You should check it because they're doing prime sale right now. But going a little bit off topic, but going back onto topic, I also carry sort of like a cable with that to sort of like connect my sort of like devices. And I also carry a sort of like a pouch which sort of like has my batteries. Sometimes I use this bag to sort of like transport my Nikon F3 or my Mamiya 645, which run on SR44 aka LR44 batteries. I basically have a pouch to sort of like have those types of batteries. If it runs out, I basically can do it on spot. And also alcoholic wipes. If my sort of like lenses or front elements get some kind of dirt or dust, I can basically remove it. Blower, obviously essential if something happens. If you like drop your equipment, you can basically use a blower instead of physically blowing onto the camera. Do not do that, but it's good to have sort of like a small compact blower. I also carry sort of like a filter for my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. If you do video, you know that you need ND filters no matter what, depending on the frame rate that you shoot, you have to double it. But in my case, I try to shoot at 24 FPS. When you double it, you have to shoot 1/50th of a second, which means that you're mostly overexposed when you're shooting outside, which means that you need to cut that extra light coming into the camera. So I basically have to carry extra ND filters like ND16 and ND32 to compensate for that. Going a little bit off topic, and also another essential if you're photographing using a film camera is a light meter. I use a Sekonic LS308. The X had trouble, so it's being shipped to somewhere. And right now I'm using sort of like a backup, which is the 308B, if I'm right. I should make a video on that sometime soon, but I always have that. And I basically stick those filters and my Sekonic light meter in there's basically a compartment in here where I was taking a BTS, which you can stick in a 13-inch MacBook Air, but unfortunately I don't have a MacBook 13-inch Air, so in that space I stick my Cyclonic light meter and also my sort of like filter stuff in there as extra protection because I need extra protection. So yeah, you can also stick in A4 size documents, so that's actually a location for safekeepings. So yeah, so the bottom compartment, not too flashy unfortunately, but is where I stick in my GW690 Mark III. And this is a really important thing about the GW690 Mark III, and because the Fuji GW690 Mark III is a rangefinder camera, it means that the total height of the camera is actually higher than the typical SLR or any kind of like mirrorless camera, which means that there's not many bags that can accommodate that camera due to that characteristics of being really high. And in most cases, camera bags, if you have a sort of like a side pocket, it won't fit, unfortunately. But this camera bag, fortunately, actually can clear that sort of like clearance in terms of the total height of the GW690 by basically sticking it in there with a strap, full flat at the bottom, and it just works in my opinion. And just have my GW690 just sit there when I'm basically sort of like transporting it from point A to point B. And right now I don't have any troubles because the bottom compartment can actually sort of like accommodate the GW690 without any issues. And that even if I have a tripod plate at the bottom of the camera, I still can sort of like stick my camera in there and can fully sort of like zip it in and have no trouble like transporting it. What's rather interesting about this bag is for the bottom compartment, there's actually a camera cube that comes with this camera. Unfortunately, because I don't use camera cubes with my GW690, because if I use it, this space gets really tiny. I can't like fit my camera. If you have SLRs, you can actually use that. I'll stick in a photo for you guys, but somewhere in my room, I kind of lost it, so I can't show it to you guys. But there is a camera cube that comes with this bag if you purchase it. And speaking of camera cubes, this bag has another functionality where you can basically sort of like unzip everything almost 360 degrees, and you can basically take out the top compartment, which is also another camera cube. I'll stick in a BTS for you guys, but this bag can become a sort of like a day pack if you want, if you don't want to use it as a sort of like a camera bag, but that option is available, which is really neat. And also because the zip goes around 360 degrees, you can actually like move the zippers to the right side or the left side to your needs. So yeah, that's actually really nice. Speaking of another functionality, it does have pockets on the left side and also on the right side, so you can put beverages. You can, in my case, I have something to drink on the left side, and don't stick a Suntory Gin on the left side, but you can also stick an umbrella on the opposite side. I always carry an umbrella at all costs, especially in Japan, because you never know if it's gonna rain, and you cannot predict what the weather forecast says. Like, it actually rained pretty hard last week, so yeah, that's what I have it configured. Okay, so that's basically it on my rundown about talking about the Manfrotto's advanced compact backpack, and not too much sort of like characteristics in my mind. I mean, it's a bag that works in my opinion, and because I've been using it for about a year, and also for the Fast Backpack, which I've been using ever since I started my YouTube channel. I'm not being sponsored by Manfrotto or anything, but when I last worked as an assistant, Manfrotto was one of the leading brands that I had to use at my workplace, and I guess there's a reason why they still exist nowadays. And if you guys probably do know or not know, Manfrotto bags are typically a lot cheaper than the what we call peak design, PGY types of backpack. When you look at the price range, I was able to snag this compact backpack for roughly $60. The Fast Backpack, now they have a Mark III version out. I think you can snag one for around $100. It's almost like half the price of the premium makers, although for some odd reason I keep using Manfrotto bags because the zippers never fail, which is one of the things that I kind of hated about PGY Techs and Peak Designs, the zipper lining shredded. So over the course of years, I've been using it for 3 or 4 years, especially the Fast Backpack when traveling. The zipper hasn't failed on me. That's sort of like a reason why I keep using Manfrotto bags. And still, although it's been brutally handled, it's still surviving, and it's actually one of the reasons why I've been using it for the course of the years and to come. And I've never seen a bag that's better than this when transporting my GW690, unfortunately. So I don't know. There might be a camera manufacturer in the future years to come that come up with a bag that can accommodate the GW690, but that, shape and that size is really distinctive, and it's kind of hard to find a bag that can accommodate that rangefinder, especially in terms of nowadays where every camera is like really small in that sense. So yeah, that's it on my video of talking about the Manfrotto's compact advanced compact backpack MA3. So yeah, I'll stick in some kind of link for you guys. And what's rather intriguing about Manfrotto bags compared to other camera manufacturers such as PGY Tech is that, if I'm right, Manfrotto has like 4 or 5 sort of like backpacks on their lineup. I think the smallest one is called the advanced backpack or active backpack, and then the second larger one is this compact backpack. One step above this in terms of size is the fast backpack that I currently use for traveling, and going above that there's a travel backpack which is more than 35 liters or so, somewhere around there. So they have sort of like a wide range of products that are available, and at the same time the materials across their sort of like, how should I say, product line is actually similar. So the what you call the outer padding, which you can tell by the sound of it, get my fast backpack, is probably the exactly same material. Yes, so no matter where you hit it, your camera's like really protected. So, and I actually like protection in that sense. So yeah, have protection at all costs. But yeah, what am I saying? But yeah, that's basically it on my rundown about my compact backpack from Manfrotto. Yeah, hopefully they see my video. But yeah, if you have any opportunities, or if you, I mean, there in Japan specifically, there's a outlet store where you can basically purchase these for less than $100. But I'm not sure in North America there's this outlet kind of like sale going on. Who knows, but I'd love to hear from you guys. But yeah, I was able to snag both of them for roughly less than $100, which is really nice. So yeah, that's basically it on my video of talking about this bag. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. Love to hear what kind of bags you use when you're going on to trips, and also when you're sort of like going to around the city and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. We'll see you next time. Peace out.